The Free Pass project is an interactive public art, and what it's based on is repurposed poker chips as free passes. And you might give somebody a free pass if you saw them experiencing something that was difficult, or if you understood the situation they were in. So I started it in January, and it got born really quickly and launched really quickly. So I realized it's kind of like having a baby and then going backwards for the development up to it. So the object is the means to tell a story, and the story might be what the interaction is between two people who exchanged a free pass token. The story might be where you found the free pass token, where you left it, how you documented it. Sometimes there's no stories whatsoever, but they're happening anyway, because a part of the art that's way in the background is no matter what, somebody is seeing this object and having a thought. Like they're having their day interrupted with a moment of mindfulness. So that's actually intentional back there in the art. I can give some examples. I've been participating as an artist in the Free Pass project, besides making them and getting other people to participate. So a couple examples if you're totally lost, because I'm not being formal. Right before the thing started tonight, I was out on the porch, and there was this guy getting into his car, and he was complaining with a friend of his how he had just been harassed at the gas station, and he totally wanted to punch the guy out, but he decided to just give him a break. So I walked up to him and I said, "Here, you just did a free pass, have one." And he got it right away, and he was really excited to have a free pass, and he's like, "Yes, that's exactly what happened." So there's an example of a free pass in action and of me being in the project. Earlier today, somebody messaged the page that they're keeping one in their pocket because they're going through really intense stuff with their HR department, and they need to keep reminding themselves that they're doing the best they can and it's not their fault. So the Free Pass project falls under the header of social practice art. And what that means is that there are no boundaries at all between the artists and the participants and the community. It rarely has anything to do with a museum or a gallery, and usually it's temporary. So one of the issues in social practice art is how to document it. So with the Free Pass project, one of the main ideas was to merge sort of interactions and compassion offline with bridging what's going on in social media. And ideally, or in the grand scheme of things, somebody in Seattle might find a free pass or give somebody a free pass and then have their story to tell and be able to post it to the Facebook page, or if when there's more social media developed, say, "This is how I used it, this is where I found it." And people start to come to understand like familiar situations where they might have needed a free pass. The free pass can be given for kind of simple things like spilling a cup of coffee. Some people are using free passes for pretty profound things. And one thing that's happening for me as the artist is I'm getting lots of messages through the Facebook page, and I didn't know that was going to happen. So I've sort of become a confessor. So I'm hearing things that people are sharing with me that they're not sharing publicly. The way I go about free passing, more so than not these days, is to engage somebody first. So it's usually a service person or the same thing, like somebody in line, like, "What's your profession?" "Oh, I'm a high school teacher." "Oh my God, you need a free pass." Or asking a service person, "Do you ever have a grumpy customer, or you're having a bad time yourself?" And of course the answer is yes. And I give them a free pass. I've given them to postal workers, toll booth workers. I gave one to the UPS guy last week. So it's really nice because people get it right away and they feel seen. And you get seen. So the Free Pass token is really a prompt for lots of smaller experiences like that. In terms of the project and me as the artist right now, there's no boundaries. And it's kind of good, it's kind of exhausting, it's kind of like writing a poem in public. So I'm kind of walking around as a rough draft. So I would kind of like people to comment on their experiences or any questions you have.
What I found with the Free Pass Project is how much guilt and shame people carry in themselves. And this Free Pass Project is allowing myself and other people whom I give it to understand that mistakes are learning opportunities. Give yourself a break. Lighten up. I've also asked people, take this and play with it. Play with this. Play with the concept. Play with the poker chip. It's a really nice size. I like the poker chip thing.
Basically what I end up doing is I take the opportunity to actually take pictures of moments where free pass might come into play. So one of the things was like rumpled bed sheets. So I put a free pass on an unmade bed, took pictures of it. So I felt like that could be someone taking a free pass on not making a bed or a one-night stand or maybe, you know, some situation like that, you know. So that's how I sort of interpret it. And I did personally take one when I bought my ferrets. Because I bought live animals at Petco, and I was like, that's ethically questionable, so I took a free pass.
There were two young moms across the restaurant from us who both had recently had a child, and they were sitting there and communing and talking to one another and sharing about the struggles of being young moms and the difficulties of their day. And we couldn't help but overhear it just slightly in the background the whole time that we were talking. And if anyone deserves a free pass, it is a mother, and especially a young mother, who's just been newly introduced to motherhood, and them connecting was an opportunity. And so we offered them one, and they got it right away. They understood, yes, this is definitely something we can use in our lives every day. Just small incidences like that, where people realize that this is important, that they can take a moment and look at that little chip and say, you know, it's okay, I can get through this moment, I can get through this time period. Yes, I do have one that I have on a holder here that on occasion I do wear, but I also keep one next to my computer, because in the craziness and the busyness of everyday life and calling and talking and dealing with people in the arts community all the time and connecting with people continually, I often need to take a break and look at that thing just to get myself going and keep the day rolling and moving forward.
With the Free Pass Project, the real opportunity is to be in line at Whole Foods and not texting, I just got apples. The opportunity is to talk to the cashier, to talk to somebody else in line. And what you're going to find is two people having their day interrupted with this little surprise thing and feeling really good.
One of the things that has struck me about the Free Pass Project is I think there's so much pressure on everyone to try and be perfect. And to think that these things are so important, these mistakes, these, I forgot something, I was rude, whatever, that to give someone a free pass is to take that weight off them for that period of time, and for myself. So I found with the first ones, I didn't want to give them away because I knew I was going to need them all day long.